Hey guys, this is James with websitesfornoobs.com, and in this tutorial, which is the third tutorial, we're going to go ahead and start expanding on our web page that we have right now. Alright, so in this tutorial what we're going to go over is creating a wrapper tag, which is going to center our website in the middle, on the very center of the screen. We're going to go ahead and create our header banner. We're going to set this section up for our navigation. We're going to set up our main body that we're going to have most of our content in, and we're going to go ahead and set up our footer bar, which is just like the header but it's on the bottom of the page. This is what you commonly see on all websites. You have your header, navigation, body, and your footer. So the first thing I want to do with this website right here is I want to create a section that sits in the very center of the actual website screen. So we have the equal amount of space on the left and right of the background color within the internet browser. Alright? So, the first thing we're going to do is, one, if you notice, we only have our body tag here on our CSS file. And if we go to our source code, it's still the same source code that we had before. So, this is where we're going to start getting into div tags and stuff like that. And a div tag is simply, well, if you look here, this is like a body tag. Alright? The div tag does the same thing. So we're going to go ahead and, this first part, select div on the right hand side of our Dreamweaver. So from here you're going to get three options. You have edit insertion point, after start of tag, or before end of tag. Well, since we only have a body tag as of right now, we want to create this at an insertion point. And a common name for this specific tag is called wrapper. Now you could do it whatever you want. You could do wrapper, you can name it center, you can name it middle, whatever you want to name these tags. A div tag ID is simply a name that you give this tag in order for you to easily find it within the CSS file within at a later date if you decide you want to make some updates to your website. So go ahead and do add insertion point and just type in name wrapper. Now what we're going to notice, if I go back to our main CSS file now, it has not automatically populated here. So we got to tell the CSS file, be like, hey, we have this new wrapper, this new div tag that we named wrapper. Now, unlike the body tag, which it just says body with opening and closing tag, the wrapper tag is going to body tag. It's going to start off with a pound sign. And as we come over here to the right hand side under sources, we're going to select our main CSS file. It's telling that file, hey, I'm talking to you. And under selectors, we're going to go ahead and press the plus sign. And as you notice, automatically the pound wrapper highlights within our little search bar, which is perfect. The reason why it does that is because it's the only tag that we currently have that's within the body tag. As you notice, it automatically gives it a pound sign and says wrapper. Alright, so now what I want to do is I want to take this wrapper tag and I want to make it the width that I want to make of the website. So I like to use 1000 pixels because I suck at math and it's easy for me to split up my website if I decide to make sections later on in it. So 1000 pixels is pretty easy. Alright, I'm going to leave my height at auto and I'm pretty much going to leave the rest of the layout portion alone. The next spot I'm going to mess with is the margin section. Alright, under margin, what's going to center this page is by creating the margins, which are on left and right. I want to put those both on auto so that way on both sides it will keep the exact equal amount of space. So as you notice on the left hand side, when we do this, it's going to say margin left auto for this left side. So margin left auto. Now if you're using a different type of HTML coding program, you can just always go in there, type in margin, and here select margin right, and just type in auto. So you can do it either by utilizing Dreamweaver's little properties menu, or you can just go ahead and type it in yourself. Now what this does is actually, now we have told that wrapper, we said, hey, box, we want you 1000 pixels, so that'll be the width of it, and we want you to center yourself on the page. Now the next thing we want to do is create a background for that specific wrapper. So go ahead on the fourth icon and select the fourth box. We're going to have background color. Currently, if you look in properties, it has a white box with a red line through it, meaning there's no color to it, it's transparent. So we're going to go ahead and select that box, and we're going to put it all the way up to the top. Now as you see, the code is going to automatically say background dash color colon bunch of F's semicolon. Alright, now we have made our little box white, and it's centered, and it's 1000 pixels wide. Now another thing I like to do is I think having just a square web page doesn't really look that good, so I'm going to round the corners on this wrapper tag. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to, from our layout portion, we're going to scroll down till we see our fourth gray box. 1, 2, 3. Keep going down. It's actually on the borders. We select border, and then, which is the third icon in. Scroll down, and you're going to see this rounded little square, whatever it is, box right here. On here, I like using 10 pixels as my rounded corner. Go ahead, type 10 on the left side, and click off of that. Now, a quick way to do this is when you're doing this a lot, is when you work with the properties in Dreamweaver, you type it in one corner, select it, and then press this little center button right here. It automatically changes all corners to the same pixel. Go ahead and select off of it, and now you see border radius is 10 pixels. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to actually preview this change inside of our web browser. So I'm going to go ahead and select Firefox, save, yes, and it's going to pop up. So as you can see, we have this new wrapper tag is centered within the website. It's going to say wrapper right here, and it has rounded corners. So now if I actually take my Firefox and move it in, it's going to stay centered with the page. And then once you get too far in, it'll start actually splitting the page along. So we're going to go ahead and minimize the Firefox real quick. Alright, so now that you understand the concept of actually creating a div tag and adding it into the website, we're going to go ahead and breeze through this now. We're going to go ahead and add our header, our navigation, or our header tag, navigation tag, a body tag, and our footer tag. Now the only difference that we're going to do now for the rest of these tags is we're going to put everything within the wrapper tag. What I mean by that, let's go ahead and delete all the content out of the wrapper, and we're going to select our, under structure, up here, insert structure, select header. Now last time with the wrapper, we put it at insertion point. This time we're actually put it before end of tag, because we don't want it to be outside of the wrapper tag. We want inside the wrapper tag, so if we put it before the end of it, it's going to stay inside the wrapper. So before end of tag, we'll change it from body to wrapper, and we're going to go ahead and name it header. Like I said, you can go ahead, you can use any ID you want, header, banner, top, whatever you want to make it. This ID is specifically for you to easily find your tag later on. Go ahead and select OK, and as you can see, content ID for header goes here, has automatically populated in the place of wrapper. So since the header tag is within the wrapper tag, we already know it's going to be 1000 pixels. So what we want to do is we want to actually, well, we're going to take this header tag and we got to make it look like the top part of the wrapper text. Because if we go to Firefox right now, we're going to go and save. As you notice, we have header and it's rounded on top. If we were to change that color a lot of times, for some reason in certain browsers, it'll actually square it off instead of allowing the header to take over and make the round the corner. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this header tag, we're going to select main CSS, and we're going to press pound, and we're going to type in header, select enter. So now I know my header, I want my header to be 150 pixels tall, but I want it to stay the same width of the wrapper tag. So if I go over here under header, under the layouts, and then select next to it says auto, if I select PX for pixel, type in 150 for 150, it'll expand out to 150 pixels. Let's go ahead and preview that in Firefox. And as you see, content for header goes here. We still have 4 around the corners, which is actually good. Sometimes for some reason I know that it actually doesn't flow with the round the corner itself. Now for the header tag, because within the wrapper tag, we're going to go ahead and leave this color as it is. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and flow through it and create our navigation header, or our navigation div. So I'm going to click off of that, and let's go ahead and select over here on the right hand side, select, cancel. Let's select navigation. We want this within the wrapper tag itself also, select wrapper, and we're going to name it main nav. The reason why I name it main nav is because I know this would be my main nav bar itself, but I may decide later on to add smaller navigation bars within bodies of web pages. That's just something I like to do every once in a while here and there, so main nav is actually good for a good name for this specific navigation bar. Alright, so as you can see, you have the header up here, and main nav automatically flowed below header, which are all still wrapped wrapped within the wrapper tag. So now that we've got that set up, we're going to go ahead and select our body. We're going to make a body, which is just a section on the right hand side, select section, and we want that within the wrapper tag also. So before end of tag, select wrapper, and let's go ahead and make this, I'm going to make it main body, and select OK. And as you see, main body automatically populates in this area also. And then we're going to go ahead and select a footer. Go ahead and make a footer before end of tag, make that within the wrapper also, and then we're going to name it footer. Go ahead and select OK. Come over here to our main CSS file, and we're going to go ahead and select footer. And the same thing with the header tag. We know that we want to make our footer a different size. We know how big we want that to be already. So I'm going to go ahead and make my footer automatically 150 pixels. Oh, my header and my footer would be the same size. Now as you can see, we have our outline of our website. Alright, so I'm going to go back, I'm going to select our header, leave that white, I'm going to select our main nav, which we have not actually, because we left main nav by itself, we didn't do anything else with it. We never added it into the CSS file. So click main CSS, go ahead and hit pound main nav, select enter, and I'm going to change the background color just for now, just to separate it from the rest of the stuff. And I'm going to do the same thing with the main body. I'm going to go to main CSS, add the selector, pound main body, go to background, we're going to change the color of it, make it blue or something, and then the footer, footer and header will leave as they are. So if we go preview this in Firefox, click our page. Yes, we automatically have around the corners all the way around. Our header up here is going to be where our header goes for our website. Our main navigation bar is going to flow in here. We have our main body is going to all go within this blue section, and then this footer is going to be at the bottom of our page. So this is going to be the basic setup for the rest of our site. The next tutorial we're going to do is we're going to just create the rest of the header. Then following that, we'll make another tutorial for the main navigation, and we'll do one for the footer. And then once we're done with that, we're going to make this into a specific template. All right, thanks for watching. Like I said, this is James from websitesfornoobs.com. Just to let you guys know, if you go to arvix.com, if you get hosting with them, type in the code newbie20%, you'll automatically save 20% on your website hosting. And also, I'm setting up our new Facebook account. So once we get that set up, we'll put a Facebook link up for you guys to be able to go to also. Thanks for watching this video. If you guys like it, go ahead and subscribe. And I hope you guys follow along with the videos and also get in with our tutorials that we're going to start setting up here in a little bit for this specific website. Thanks for watching the video. You guys have a good night.